Yali Madad. So today our homework was to discuss 4 verses which were 26 by 90, 50 by 30, 47 by 6 and 47 by 7. And this is a continuation of our discussion about heavens which we did last time. So what we'll do, I would let Farah read the English translation and I'll do the Urdu, and then we'll hear from each one of you what you have prepared. So how about I do the Urdu one and then you can take out the English one, okay? So let's start it by 26 by 90, okay? So the Urdu translation says, जन्नत परहेजगारों के करीब ले आई जाएगी. जन्नत परहेजगारों के करीब ले आई जाएगी.
Okay, and then this English one says, and paradise will be brought near that day to the righteous.
50 की 31 है और बिहिश्त परहेजगारों के करीब कर दी जाएगी, दूर ना होगी.
And paradise will be brought near to the righteous not far.
That was 50 by 31, right? Okay. And the next is 46 and 47 by 7, right? Okay. This is Surah Muhammad. वो उनकी रहनुमाई फरमाएगा, उनका हाल दुरुस्त कर देगा. This was 5. और उनको उस जन्नत में दाखिल करेगा जिससे वो उनको वाकिफ करा चुका है. ए लोगों जो ईमान लाए हो, अगर तुम अली अल्लाह की मदद करोगे तो वो तुम्हारी मदद करेगा और तुम्हारे कदम मजबूत जमा देगा.
Okay, so 46 by 6. Oh, sorry, 47 by 6 is, and admit to them to paradise, which he has made known to them. And then 47 by 7 is, O you who have believed, if you support Allah, He will support you and plant firmly your feet.
So 2 are the main ayat. One, the heaven will be brought near you. Another one, that you will be entered into heaven which you have already known. So what do you think we are talking about over here? Your thoughts are?
Whatever comes to your mind. You don't have to be like right or perfect.
Go ahead. Whoever wants to start.
Well, interestingly, so the one about the paradise which has made known to them, the Arabic word is arafaha, which we know from we connect with marifa, right? So that means saying that the paradise can be known, it has been made known to them, means that you should recognize paradise through marifa while living. A moment you recognize paradise before actually getting there, you should be able to recognize it first and then be able to enter into paradise. And I thought it was interesting is that where it says admit them to paradise, who is the them? Which them are they talking about, right? So that's 47.6. If you go to 47.5, it speaks about, 47.4, it speaks about the them as those who were killed in the path or the cause of Allah. 47.5, the next verse says, He will guide them and improve their condition. Which is interesting because 47.4 says they have been killed in the way, but the next verse says that now Allah will guide them. How can you guide somebody who's dead? So if He says He's killed in the way of Allah, then they're guided and then improve their condition, and then they're admitted to paradise. Interestingly, I think of this only makes sense if you think of those who are killed in the spiritual sense, that died before you die, that on the path of Allah when you've died, then you get a special guidance, your condition improves, and that's interesting too, but God improves your condition. I think the Zahir understanding is that they think that the person's dead and God reassembles them, but I think in this sense you're improving your inner condition, that you've died, and now you're being rebuilt spiritually and then entering into paradise. So that's my thoughts on that.
Okay, very good.
This is a hadith of Prophet Muhammad, right? Mutu qabla antu mutu. Die before you are dead.
The voluntary death or spiritual death, the death of your lower soul, your carnal soul, all the negative impurities die away, and then you get the proper guidance after you go through the experience of that spiritual death.
So is this the concept of what Christians always say, that I have been reborn? Would you say?
Reborn concept is to become religious. So before I was not religious.
And now
It's like saying when you say Quranic verses, the one that says you were dead and then He made you live. so that you're dead with respect to religious knowledge. You had no knowledge, you're dead, and then you become alive now because you're gaining your knowledge, which is like this, like being guided and your condition improving. Now you're actually alive.
Right.
So in other words, like you coming to classes, you are now a reborn smiley.
Yeah, but not you haven't not gone through the Mutu Kabla Anta Mutu.
No, yeah.
Because that is the Nafsani mode.
It's a higher level.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a higher level.
Yeah.
So the concept of this concept is different.
Difference, yeah. And we've also talked about nafse amara. That's what he's talking about. Nafse amara becoming nafse lawama.
So what are your thoughts?
When it says and admit them to paradise which he has made known to them, I feel like it's where you feel like you're finally at home or at peace. It's not necessarily something that is around, but just you are at such a peace that anywhere and everywhere you go, it's home to you. Does that make sense? Or that's what I felt about that. And then like the plant your feet firmly is like, so now that you have entered this path, you won't have the path of, well, is it really, or is it, you won't have that anymore. You will only see more and more proof that you are on the right path.
You will not have doubts, you are saying.
Yeah, you will not have doubts.
Okay. What about the one bringing heavens near to you?
That's just like exactly that, right? That the more you realize, the more you feel like, okay, you're going on the right path, so you're in that right direction.
Okay. All right. Farah?
Whenever you're going through becoming like one with Allah, when it's saying like this is the paradise that's already known to them, it's like it's already in them, like, but then it's you're being made aware that you're entering paradise, but because everyone has a soul, so it was already in you, but now you're aware of it and one with it. And then plant feet firmly. What I understood from it was that concept that there's, like, he will give you a spot, like you have your own space there. Like he recognizes you, and that's what I thought of plant feet firmly.
Okay, good, very good.
All right.
I don't know.
So let's come back to our previous ending where we ended. So we had talked about 313 Momin, and then we had talked about 932, 66:8, and 57:12,
And 13.
and 13, and we ended there, and then we say, okay, let's do these three ayahs so we can understand heaven. Because normal thought process is that heaven is a place above somewhere in the sky, in the heavens, and when we die, either we will go to hell or we will go to heaven. That is the thought. How nice would it be to know that we will never go to hell? And I'm talking about, does not matter what you do. Which hell am I talking about that you will never go? The one with all those bad thoughts, fire, beating up, living there forever, and all that scary thing. The picture that has been given to us in Bible and Quran, that if you do bad, you're going to be thrown into the fire of hell. Only fire of hell that people do experience is in this life, which is ignorancy. So being ignorant is just like being in hell. So again, you do not have to die to go to hell. You already are in hell if you are ignorant of the true knowledge. In other words, people who are away from Imam are in hell today. Because Imam is the Noor of Allah. So either you are with the Noor of Allah or you are away from Him. And away from Him is just like being in hell. Okay, let's come back to our subject. One thing you noticed when we were talking about their heavens will be brought near them to whom? The one who are righteous. And one of the ayat 2690 says it will not be far away. First it says it will be brought near to them, then it says it will not be far away. So now, if it's near to them, then why does it say it will not be far away? Meaning there's a path. Because near could be really close to us or close to us. So God's saying the heavens will be brought near to them and will not be far away. Meaning you'll be easily able to reach that heaven. And condition was for the righteous. Let's understand this part. If heaven is a place, how can that be brought near to you? Let's say if there was one righteous person in America and one in Pakistan and one in Africa. So which direction will this heaven go? So with that understanding, now we understand that heaven is not a place, because that would be impossible for a place to be here and there also. So come to find out, heaven is actually alive, a live personality. If we say heaven is a live personality, does this personality has more than one body? Because again, same scenario. If there was a righteous man in America, in Africa, in Asia, in Pakistan somewhere, so either we are talking about three different heavens or one heaven with a three manifestation. And we are just talking about three here as an example. So heaven is actually second name of Imam of the time. So when you are righteous, Imam comes near you. And then he said, he will not be far away. He will not be far away. Why do we call Imam a heaven? Because that is a smiley concept. That is a smiley concept that Imam is a heaven. When and how? Every day we say, and whenever there is a dua, the Ya Mola, तो उसको अपने असल में वासल करना. Have you ever heard कि या मौला तो उसको जन्नत नसीब करना? Because जन्नत जो है वो कोड वर्ड है खाली. For the people who does not know this heaven, उसके लिए कोड वर्ड है heaven. हमारे लिए वो uncoded वर्ड है, which is to be one with the Imam is just like going into heaven. So इससे हमको पता चला कि heaven is a code word for Imam, or otherwise Imam equal to heaven. So when you are righteous, Imam will come near you and he will not be far away. Let's come to the other one. Said Mu'mineen will be aware and heavens will be known to them. Now here we have a problem, because it talks about heavens, not a heaven. So is there more than one heaven? Or is there a heaven on the way? to the top heaven. Now picture that. Let's say the Imam is the most highest heaven of all. And whenever we say he is the most highest heaven, meaning there are other heavens on the way. So what are some of the names of those heavens? Do we know them? Because it says it will be known to you. And it will be near you. It will be known to you and it will be near you. So what are the names of those heavens? So let's say first heaven is Mazun. Let's say second heaven is Dai. Because Dai can become a heaven. And we talked about that in our previous class. How these 313 Mu'mineen have become heaven themselves. Because those are the people living near us. And you would know them. So now you can say that I know the heaven which is near me. Meaning one of those mu'mineen who are close to you have become heaven, and you are saying that I know this heaven and it is close to me. Okay, here I wanted to open a secret of Imam, because this will be a good place to learn that. Let's say that we really worked hard, we really tried, but we did not make it all the way to Asal Mein Wasal. Let's say that, just for a second. Which heaven are we going to go to? The heaven which is near to us. The one we know. And what is the secret in that? You know, people are scared of Malkul Maut. You know, the angel of death, people are scared of him. Don't be scared of him. He will be that mu'min who were near to you and the one you knew, and you will happily go with him. When he comes to pick you up, you will happily go into his heaven. Because you know him and he was near to you. I know it's kind of confusing, right? No? You good?
I have a question. Why would you say you know him? I mean, I know that the angel of death is appointed with you. It's with you all the time. But when you say know him, do you mean that in the sense of knowing somebody on earth who was manifesting that angel? Or let's say if you never... I know this goes back to the whole idea of acquiring knowledge, but if you have not met anyone at that rank, and you still have knowledge from, let's say, books and learning and your own study, and then you die, do you go with that angel, like you'll see him for the first time and you'll recognize him?
Nope.
Or you have to know them already?
You already know him. Because that is the law. The heaven will be brought near you and you will know him. If you go into heaven, you will know him in advance. And it will be near you, meaning somebody close to you. So I'm going to give you some examples. I'm going to just do some ishara, some
Indication.
indication, some signs without saying anything. Okay? So you just have to catch it. Let's say that my mother has passed away. Alright? If she comes to pick me up, would I have any problem going with her? Meaning she has made herself a heaven. I already know her. I would have no problem going with her. Or somebody's wife or husband has died, and he or she comes to pick him up or pick her up, would he or she would have a problem? Meaning the angel of death will come in the manifestation of somebody that you know, to make it easier on you, to make you happy, and you will happily go with that person. You know, we have heard of this. The good people, when they die, they are happy. Why are they happy? Because they are about to meet their loved one. And they will have no problem going with them. And I'm sure we also heard of this many, many times, that person who's dying says, oh, so and so is here to pick me up. Have you ever heard of that? So if you are ever close to the people they are dying, if you are in that room or in that place, very at the end time, 99% of the time you will hear them saying, the so and so person is here to pick me up. Because they see them. We don't see them, but they see them. Why would they tell you that? Because Allah wanted to leave those signs for us to learn from it. How otherwise we will know what happened at the end of the time. So I will request you strongly, there are 1 or 2 lectures. The title is The Time of Death. Listen to those lectures. It's only 30 minutes probably or less. Time of Death. Listen to that. It will give you clear indications how a person dies, what happened before that and what happens after that. It will clearly give you a drawing. Because at the time of death is a time of happiness, time of freedom. Because people don't know and don't understand, they are normally scared of death. But for Mu'min, there's a day of Eid, day of freedom.
ઇમામ સુલતાન બશા says મોમેન્ટ મોત મોમનના માટે ખુશીનો દિવસ છે.
ઈદનો દિવસ.
ઈદનો દિવસ છે.
Yeah.
ખુશીનો.
The day of happiness, day of freedom. So again, come back to our 2 ayahs. If you look at Surah Muhammad, right after it says, the heaven will be known to you. God talks about that if you help me, then I will help you get to know that heaven and get to that heaven. But the condition is put on us that if you help me, I will help you. And because it was talking about heaven, right? For that, to know that heaven and get to that heaven. I will bring you that heaven close to you. So, concept is heaven is always in you. But in this case, we are talking about that Imam is always in you, but he will be near you. Because Imam can be with you and far away. So here the key word was, and if you look at that ayah, almost that part is hidden where it says, not far away. All of a sudden, the ayah ends. Like God wanted to say something, but it doesn't say it. Did you notice that? When you read that, you will have that feeling that God wanted to say something, but He's not saying it. He said, heaven will be brought near you, not far away. And then He ends. So people who don't pay attention to those fine words and lines, they will miss it. I call them underlined words. So you should be paying attention to those underlined words because that will open the doors for you. It will tell you the secrets of Allah or secret of Imam, how he wanted to tell you something, but he only wanted to tell those things to those people who are paying attention. And the other one who's reading Quran like a newspaper will miss it completely. They will not know what God is saying. Because it is really hard to understand how can heaven will be known to you. Or how can heaven be brought near to you. So those mu'mineen that we were talking about in our previous class, those were the mu'mineen who knew their Jannat. The Jannat was close to them and they had become a Jannat themselves. And that's why in this one says, in plural, Jannate, heavens. So you can be in one Jannat, or the middle Jannat, or the highest Jannat, which is Imam himself. But be in a Jannat, don't be in Dozak. Don't be ignorant. Again, you can be at the number 5, number 4, or number 3. If you are at number 3, you are definitely with one of those mu'mineen. Because from that point on, Didar is on all the time. Now again, if you draw a line on the 3 and 9, if you are on top of the line, now you can see from the 3, the 2, 1 and the 12 where the full didar is. But if you are under the line of 3, the veil is still there, the curtain is still there, and there is no didar because the sun is under the cloud or behind the cloud, so you cannot see it. So you have to remove the cloud, remove the curtain, and get on top of that line 3, so you can see the heavens. So there are heavens on number 2, there are heavens on number 1. And what will be those heavens? What are the names of those heavens? We talk about Mustajib and Dai, or Mazun and Dai. Those are the heavens of Hujjatan, peace. Those are the heavens of Imam. And we are talking about the ultimate Didar of Nur at the 12th, where you are one with him, but you still have your own Ana, and you are number 2. You see how their 1 and 2 sits together? Inshallah, when we have a time and when we are at that level, we will talk about why 11. What does 10 mean? And what is 12 and why all of a sudden after 12 we have 1? What does 1 stand for? If we talked about 12 being Allah being 1 and you with Him, even though you are with Him as a 1, but you still have your own Ana, your own I, your own identity. And at that point you are number 2. And that's how close you are with Him. With that 1, you are right there. If that is the case, who's number 1? Because Allah is right here at 1, 2, at 12 o'clock. Who's that number 1? So inshallah, we will stop here and we will talk about that also as the time improves and our understanding improves. We will talk about that.
Inshallah.
Any more question here?